Hello again, St. Louis sports fans. Welcome to your favorite St. Louis sports podcast, The Lunatics. I'm Tyler, your host, along with John, my co-host and quote-unquote producer.
I
Here we
like my
are.
intro in the last episode more because you introduced me as your buddy, and I felt very special about that. And this time, that's gone. So, yeah.
I'll work on it. That's something
Thank
I
you.
think I can improve on. To be honest, my intros to these episodes, all I have is that repeats is your favorite St. Louis sports podcast. The rest of it is pretty much all garbage.
The whole podcast is garbage after that. Like, that's what you're saying. You're not wrong.
Depends on who you are. So this is a special episode that we've been wanting to do for a little while. We're really going to talk about the St. Louis sports and their jerseys/kits and what they wear out on the field and how we feel about them. With that in mind, I want to start off the episode. So John, this is a double episode night. So we just recorded an over hour-long episode. If you noticed that John's still wearing the same info.
But you changed so that way people might not know.
I did change, but I have a reason for change when we get into the St. Louis City stuff.
That's fair. I chose this one for a reason too, so that works out.
So when we get into that, but more importantly, what are you drinking now? Other than since you're off the sparkling water, it sounded like.
I'm off the sparkling water. I am up to my beer allotment. So as I've said before, big fan of Four Hands. Pretty much anything. This one is one of their seasonal variety packs that came out with this year. It is basically an Almond Joy knockoff, so you can't drink it. It's my least favorite of the three.
Do you pronounce almonds?
I don't know. I think Kelsey pronounces them almonds. Oh, no, she doesn't pronounce them almonds. Gordon
you
Ramsay.
definitely just said Almond Joy.
Yeah, it's because Gordon Ramsay was pronouncing them almonds when I was watching Hell's Kitchen right before we started recording. And so that just changed how I say the word, basically.
I just couldn't let you get away with it.
No, that's fine because I didn't even notice. So it is almond and coconut chocolate milk stout. And it's good. Not a huge fan of coconut myself. You can't consume almonds. So I'm drinking this one so that way you don't accidentally raid my fridge, drink it, and die. You're welcome.
Honestly, you're doing it for me.
I'm doing it for you. That's right. I am a true friend. You're welcome.
I'm still on the bourbon kick, but swapped over to Jefferson's Reserve this batch. So trying to empty up the bottle so that I can have an excuse to go buy something new.
That makes sense. That's why I grabbed the beer. Take it out of the fridge, put a new one in. So.
Oh yeah, no, I've got some Angel's Envy and Angel's Envy Rye that are getting low, but those will just get replaced with another Angel's Envy and Angel's Envy Rye. The Jefferson Reserve, honestly, has not been my favorite. But we're not here to do bourbon reviews. We are here to do jersey reviews. And with that, I'd like to kick it off on the St. Louis Blues. So the Blue Note Classic, right? Everyone loves the Blue Note.
Classic.
When it comes to the jersey, we've got the navy, and then we've got that lighter, more like a royal blue color. Which do you prefer over the last 10 to 15 years?
So, I'm trying to pull up a list so I can see all of them
we've got like the navy
I know what
color,
they look like, but
and then you got the traditional Blue Note color.
What the okay? The NHL shop sucks. Never mind. We're just going to go to images. So I will be honest. The one I like the most of all of their jerseys is the light blue. Well, not their
royal blue home jersey, like their standard home jersey.
No, I like the powder blue alternate. Is the one I like the most. I do, of the two home jerseys, the navy and the light blue, I don't think I like either one of them more than the other. I like them both a lot. But I don't know, if you were like, hey, Blues are going to wear this jersey, whichever one you pick for the rest of all time, which one are they going to wear? You have to choose. I don't think I could really, I'd probably just flip a coin. I am indifferent to that yellow one. I will say that. I don't particularly care for that one.
Are you talking about the reverse retro one? That's got like a St. Louis Blues with the kind of like jazzy blue note on it.
Right. It's okay. It's just I'm not a huge fan of all yellow.
I think as an alternate to wear 2 to 3 times a season, it's great. I would never pick that as our primary jersey.
Right. Right.
I think I'm with you. I think I like the lighter blue with the yellow down, kind of just the single yellow stripe down on the arm. With the whites above it. I think that is probably my favorite jersey of theirs.
Okay. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. I think it's closer. I think it might be the powder blue you're talking about. I'm not actually
sure. No, the one I'm talking about is it's got like, so you know how like our normal jerseys have like the shoulder stripes?
Mm-hmm.
The one I'm talking about is the one that's like a lighter blue and does not have that. It has like a white, yellow, white on the sleeve.
That's the one I just said. It said it's just got the single like yellow with the white above it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but no, this also has white on the bottom too. It has white on both sides.
White and yellow. So when you said white,
yeah, okay. When you said above it, I thought you meant the regular one that has a white stripe and then a yellow stripe.
Yeah, so I agree. I think that's probably that. We did not. You can tell, which is good because I didn't want to know I know your general style, but I'm surprised that you and I agree that that's our favorites. The white version away jersey is also top notch.
Yeah. I love that white jersey, actually.
I love that way more than our standard whites that we wear away. The one that I'm really curious.
Yeah.
Because our standard whites still have like the navy blue and the yellow and stuff up top.
Yeah,
the lighter blue with the white. It's more of a retro hockey look, and I'm here for it, man.
I do think of the two white jerseys, I do prefer the standard one a little bit more, but it's very close. It's very close. I could be happy with either of those as a gift. So if my wife is listening to this, a Blues jersey would be an excellent gift to me.
How would you rate, and we'll go one last jersey before we get into this.
Okay.
The the Blues breakaway jerseys that have the red on the bottom and the crazy, they're different. I think mid 90s is when they had that style.
Yeah, it only works if it says Hull on the back. Like that's the only way I like it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not generally a fan of that jersey.
I think for me, if it was worn once or twice a year, that's enough for me. I don't love the jersey. Yeah. I think it's fun. It just isn't what I think. It's not what I think of when I think of hockey, right? Like it's not what I think of when I want to see the Blues on the ice. That's not what I'm picturing.
Yeah,
taking the Blues jersey sets into account. So we've got the standard home and away. We've got the lighter home and away, and then you've got the breakaway and the retro reverse, right? So you got 6 jerseys. How would you rate their kit on a scale from 1 to 10?
Like the whole selection overall?
The overall selection. How do you think they've done?
Oh, I think they've done well. Yeah, I think they've done well. I'd probably, and I'm trying to be like more objective on this, but I'd probably give them like an 8, maybe even a 9. And honestly, as far as hockey jerseys go, there's really only one other like jersey that I like more than the Blues jerseys anyway.
What and
that's
that?
That is the Ducks jerseys with the hockey mask duck logo.
Okay, those were classic.
Yeah. Apart from those jerseys, I don't like any other NHL jerseys more than the Blues, though.
That's fair. I could see that. I would have to say, again, any jersey from the Ducks back when they still had the cartoony hockey duck mask are up there for me. Some of my favorite jerseys, if you haven't seen, were the Winter Classic Pittsburgh jerseys.
Okay,
which were like the cool white ones with the P on it. Those were sick.
Yeah.
But if I'm being objective on how I feel as the kid as a whole, I think the primaries and the general secondaries are great. I think the yellow is a solid alternate to have a few times a year. but I really feel like those breakaway jerseys with the red bring the kit down. So I would say a 7 or an 8, where you were at an 8 or a 9.
Right. So I think an 8 is a good option.
So we'll go with an 8. We'll go high for me, low for you.
Right. I will add that I do like the Sharks home jerseys, but that's only because that shade is like my favorite color. But yeah, other than that I don't like it more than ours.
I think that's fair. If you could improve, or if you wanted to see one jersey for the Blues, what would it be? What would you like to see color scheme wise, something different?
Oh. Well, I mean, I just said that like turquoisey teal is my favorite color, so I guess I feel obligated to say that. And it's still blue, so it still fits. I don't know. I really don't have any improvements that I would like to see with their jerseys. I like them how they are, and I don't really see a need to mess with them, other than the critiques we've already given.
Yeah, that's fine. If there was one thing that, and I'm a sucker for this pattern anyway, that I would love to see them kind of try to like figure out how to work in, is I would love to see, like, for a home jersey, like a blue and yellow, like checkered pattern, just to see what it would turn out and look like, right? Because I'm not the artistic type, but I love checkered jerseys as a whole, especially in soccer. And so I think it could be a for you fun
that I've been saving for this.
I think it could be fun on a hockey rink, even if it's just once a year that they wore the jersey. I think it could be something fun and different. You could do blue yellow, or even a blue white, kind of checkered with the blue note in the middle.
Okay, I'm imagining it. I don't hate it.
It would not be the worst. I'm not saying it would be the best jersey out there, but I think I would love it more than the breakaway jerseys they're using now.
That's fair. So, what about if we move to another St. Louis team, in the St. Louis Cardinals? Because this year we will be getting a City Connect jersey. So if you guys haven't noticed them, because we haven't had one, every team is getting, over the last few years, a special jersey that's supposed to be connected to their city. That's where the name comes from. So Boston had, their one that was iconic in the Boston Marathon branding. What was the other ones that we really liked? Oh, Chicago White Sox, Southside, Miami.
Oh yeah, Miami's White Sox, really good. For the White Sox was the black with the white pinstripes.
Yeah, Southside.
Southside. Yeah. Those were sick. Yeah. Miami's was fantastic. They got the Latin America, the Cuban culture of Miami captured with that one. Let's see, who else was other ones? Serpientes for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
The Rockies were like a green with like the rocky mountain landscape.
And it looked like their license plates. Yeah,
those were not bad. I enjoyed those a good bit.
I liked the Angels one as well. I thought it was nice, a little bit retro, but not like too in your face. I thought the Padres was maybe a little bit too loud.
Washington DC with the roses.
Oh yeah, that one was really good too. Yeah.
And then Houston had Space City.
Yeah, I was indifferent.
I didn't
to that
love
one.
it, but I didn't hate it, right? Like it was like okay, those are okay.
Right. Cincinnati has a decent one, but it was okay. I thought the Cubs, LA Dodgers, and the Royals all sucked. I mean, I think those teams suck anyway, but also their jerseys for this sucked. So, but we're gonna get to get one this year, and I'm really excited to see it. I have no idea what direction they're going to take it. Although you sent me a rumor a couple of weeks ago that it's rumored to be all red, which is something that historically for us has been more of a like spring training jersey. And so I am excited to see that, but I also don't want it to just be like just a red jersey, like that would be boring.
My what I'm envisioning when they said all red is they're going to have a red jersey. I think it's going to have St. Louis and, general St. Louis-y, probably probably similar script to what we have on our Saturday alternates. And then I think rather than like birds in the bat, whatever else, I think they're going to incorporate the arch and probably the St. Louis kind of city flag type situation somehow into it.
What if it's a bird on the arch?
I'd be okay with that. I just don't know how that's going to fit on a jersey or how it's going to look.
What if it's a red jersey, yellow baseball bat, albino Cardinals? No, you don't like it? I thought it was a neat idea. I just came up with it myself.
I just don't see it playing well, right? Like for City Connect, right? How does it connect to the city? What is St. Louis known for? I've had this other crazy idea, and I know this will not happen.
Okay.
But what if instead of Cardinal red, it's marinara sauce red, and St. Louis is spelled out in toasted ravs?
That would be, we already have a marathon or a marinara themed jersey with the toasted ravs jersey that City came out with this year, which I really like that jersey from far away. But whenever I'm close to it, I hate that jersey so much. But we can talk about that one later. But I am excited to see it. I do think it probably will have.
So you're saying no to using toasted ravs to make the name and numbers?
I am saying no to that. Yeah, I'm shooting that down. Now, if it was gooey butter cake, okay, get a little strawberries drizzle on the gooey butter cake. I'd be okay with that. No, I should try that. Actually, that sounds really good.
What I think could be really cool, and I'm going to throw this out before you finish and cut you off, but is if they did take like the St. Louis flag, right, that we use with our colors, and turn it so that the yellow's at the top and do red and blue on the sides down with the yellow at the top, and actually just do the flag. I think that would be sick.
That would be cool. I think one of the teams, it might have been the Cubs. One of the teams uses a city flag as inspiration. And so, but I think our flag is better. So there's that. But I want to ask you the same question that you asked me about the Blues, okay? Of the 4 jerseys that we have already. So we have, the home whites, we have the away grays, we have the powder blues, and we have the cream. Which of those 4 is your favorite? I know which one is my least favorite. I know which one's
my least favorite. The Saturday alternates are my favorites, both of them.
Absolutely. Both of them, yeah.
The powder blues has grown on me a lot. So I'm probably going to go with powder blues, believe it or not.
Yeah, I am a big fan of powder blues. Absolutely love every powder blue St. Louis jersey I can get my hands on. I think I like the cream a little bit more from like a baseball perspective because it makes me feel like nostalgic for baseball 50 or 60 years before, we were born, but like in the early days of the game and kind of the style of the uniforms then. But I do think the powder blues are like, if I'm going out, like, and I'm wearing a jersey to something, I probably, if it's not like an actual game, I probably would choose the powder blue to wear over the cream. But I feel more attached to the cream than I do to the blue.
I think the biggest thing is probably because the cream's been here longer, right? We've had more time to form an attachment to it. The first jersey I spent my own money on was one of those cream jerseys with Wayno on the back. And my next jersey purchase will be the powder blue. So
I've got a lot of powder blues from giveaways, but the next one that I buy will probably be a powder blue Arenado jersey.
I'm sticking with Wayno. Still my boy.
Yeah,
always will be.
You're probably gonna have to personalize it.
Oh, I will, and I don't care. I've already accepted the fact that I'll be ordering it. It'll be personalized, and I'm putting Wayno on the back. But in a way, I'm putting Wayno on the back. We'll get into it's a surprise. Whenever I order it,
you'll let me
pop
know
up on the pod, and I'll show it to all the listeners.
If I personalize the Cardinals jersey, I would do a cream, and I would get it a Dizzy Dean number 17 jersey because 17 is my lucky number. But like no player, because it's retired for the Cardinals, it's not a jersey that I've ever been able to buy. So that's what I would do. That's what I will do, actually. It's been on my list of things to do.
So fun tidbit. This is one of the family story of mine going back decades. So back in the days of Dizzy Dean and his brother and all that crowd, the Cardinals used to go around and play games to raise money in the area. Yeah. And that's how they helped to raise money to help pay their salaries. My great-grandpa, Jesse Bennett, one of his biggest bragging rights is that he got a hit off Dizzy Dean in one of those games down in Southeast Missouri.
That is a flex.
It's been one of those family bragging right things for years.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like my great grandpa got a hit off Dizzy Dean. It's a not high stakes game at all. But when you get a hit off Dizzy Dean, you get a hit off Dizzy Dean.
That's right. That's right. No, I'd be bragging about that my whole life. Yeah, absolutely. No, everyone would.
He did until the day.
Literally the day he died.
Yeah, my dad talks about it pretty frequently. Whenever he talks about my great grandpa, he's like, "Oh yeah, do you know?" And maybe it's because my dad knows that I'm such a big sports nut that it resonates with me well. But
right.
But yeah, and my great grandpa was a great businessman, everything else, but most importantly,
but he did get a hit off Dizzy Dean.
Got a hit off Dizzy Dean.
Yeah. So, and I know it would never go away, but if I were to make a change to the Cardinals uniforms,
let's preface this with how this came up with you and me. So I sent you the article about the all red jersey
right.
coming out, potentially being linked to the City Connect jersey.
Yep.
So in MLB, you're allowed 4 jerseys plus a City Connect.
Right.
And so your initial thought was, oh, I see that we're getting an all red jersey. What jersey are we getting rid of? And you and I had the same opinion on what jersey to get rid of.
Yeah. And it was I misread the article. Like I basically stopped reading the sentence before they said we'll be adding, not replacing. Because I didn't or actually I guess it was the City Connect part was the part I didn't read, was that it would be the City Connect jersey. And I was just reading it as we are getting a red jersey this year. And the one to get rid of is the grays for me. Like that's not 100%. Even like a question. It's 100% the grays.
If you were going to argue any other jersey but the grays, you're wrong. You're not just wrong, you're stupid.
But also,
to quote Michael Myers as the Cat in the Hat.
But also you're wrong.
You're not just wrong, you're stupid.
You're stupid. Yeah. He was a great Cat in the Hat, but that's not the point of the podcast.
But it's proving my point right now is if you disagree with us right now, you're entitled to your opinion and that's fine, but your opinion's wrong and you're stupid.
Yes. But the team or the sport that has much more interesting jerseys to me, at least year in and year out, is going to be soccer because the jerseys change every year. So if you don't follow soccer, in most leagues, for the bigger teams at least, they will change the jerseys every year. Whereas in MLS, there are 2 kits and they're basically on a biannual update. So one changes every year. For us, the one that we had last year that is only for last year is this one that I'm wearing right now, which is the secondary kit with the gray stripes.
I have a fun story about that.
Yeah.
Continue. Okay. Go ahead and finish about this jersey being retired.
Oh, okay. But the primary kit will be this year upcoming as well. So the gray kit is being replaced by a new kit, and it will last for 2 years and be replaced then in 2026. Anyway, tell me your story.
And so gray kit. So I fell in love when I went and saw it. I fell in love with the gray kits, got one.
Sure.
Lindsay hated the gray kit at first.
I think a lot of people
when it first came out. And then she went and started trying on jerseys, and she's like, I really like this gray kit. So she went and bought one and took it to the game when she thought we were sitting with you. But I had sold said tickets and gotten the front row seats, and we went down and sat right on the field because it was her first game.
Right.
Got her jersey signed, and she's been terrified to wash it.
Yeah.
Because she didn't want to mess up the signature. So much so that it sat like on the side of a hamper to be washed. and figure something out, so that she finally went and hand washed it, hung it up in the closet, and she goes, Tyler, I need to get another one of those jerseys. And I was like, oh, that's cool. They're retiring those jerseys.
Yeah.
And I came home like 2 weeks later, and I'm the one who always checks the mail, and in our mailbox I pulled out and I was like, what the hell did she order? It's a new gray jersey, so she didn't have to wear her one that was signed by Leuven.
No, I would not. Yeah, no, I'd be framing and hanging that Leuven jersey up. Absolutely.
I got my Leuven signature on the hat.
I do wish I had gotten one of those hats. Now
I wish I'd gotten really like 4 of those hats.
Yeah, I really like that hat. But yeah, and so then the primary kit will be retired after this year. So 2-year lengths. I don't know if I said that earlier, but anyway.
No, you didn't. But I was thinking
you knew, but you knew, but the listeners might not. So anyway, if you're listening to the podcast, not watching the podcast, the way this jersey looks, it's basically off gray with pinstripes, and then it's got red trim. That's, I think, the easiest way to describe it. Google it, and you'll see what we're talking about.
They're very thin navy blue pinstripes.
You think they're navy? No, they're steel gray. Yeah, they're gray. Yeah, they're steel gray. That's the whole point, because it's arch thing. But also, did you notice that they called this one the Spirit Kit, as in the Spirit of St. Louis?
Yes, I did notice that.
Yeah.
Spirit of St. Louis obviously is the plane that Amelia Earhart was it Amelia Earhart flew?
Yes.
Am I making that? I was like, I didn't make that up.
Right? I don't know if I thought her last name was Earhart, but yes.
It's an E. I thought it's Earhart or something, right? I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah. You know who you're talking about. Yeah, we know who you're talking about.
I'm getting my point across.
Yes.
This isn't a history show.
It is
a history
not,
podcast. No. So
it's transitioning to an alcohol podcast, but right now, St. Louis
slowly,
sports.
But
slowly.
It could be mostly English after our debate the other day, but that's another story.
Yeah, that's not for the podcast. But so this one's being replaced. What do you want the new one to look like?
So my absolute first inclination was oh, it would be sick to get navy with the steel gray or light gray, tiny thin pinstripes. Yeah, essentially inverse it. But then I was in my closet the other day looking at this jersey in particular, and I was like, man, this jersey's actually pretty sick. So it's hard to see on the camera, but this actually does have stripes built into it.
Yeah. I didn't care for that one as much.
So I'm not saying this exact thing, but I think something that incorporates navy with some sort of a stripe, like vertical stripe, I think would be on point and solid.
Yeah. I do think I had heard somewhere that the secondary kit is supposed to be a lighter shade, versus 2 dark shades, although I think our primary kit is pretty light as well, because it's, magenta, pinky, red, whatever.
It's city red, if you wanted to know the color.
Yeah, city red. It's technically a red. It's the last shade before it moves into pink, technically. No, that's legit. It's literally the last shade before it becomes technically a pink. So I think I would like not a baby blue, because baby blue is very Sporting Kansas related, but I want it to be powder blue to match the Blues and the Cardinals powder blues. No, don't make that face. Okay.
I don't like it.
You're not just wrong, but you're stupid.
I don't like it because of Sporting Kansas and because of their light blue affinity.
Yeah, but theirs is not powder blue. If it's powder blue, I think it's okay.
I don't like it. I don't like the idea of potentially wearing blue into their stadium. We'd wear our reds if we went to their stadium anyway.
Yeah, we'd wear the reds, yeah.
I don't love it. I'm not feeling it. I don't know.
Wasn't it Barker that came up with a white away kit this year? Was that this year or last year?
I don't know. That was another thought I had was, what do you think about a true white kit for away?
I think it's boring.
That incorporates, it's got incorporates city skyline or some incorporation of something from like our first season.
Well, if you do a skyline thing, that's basically a knockoff of what Minnesota had last year for their secondary kit. So that's not as big a fan of that as much.
But our skyline has the arch. So.
It does have the arch. Right. Yeah, theirs is, I think, Northern Lights colored too. I do like that kit.
I still love Portland's Roses kit.
Oh, yeah, I like that. I like the main Portland kit too.
Yeah,
I like the main Portland kit a lot.
Theirs is more of like a cream color with those roses and things.
Right.
I don't know how we could incorporate that kind of a kit with St. Louis at this point.
Right. I don't know what the theme will be this year, because last year, so this is wearing quote unquote arch gray, which is like, I think, our fourth color. And then our primary kit, if you've seen it, and you're from St. Louis or you've ever been to St. Louis, you would immediately recognize the arch patterns down the side of the arch paneling. So I don't think that the away kit would have that same pattern. I do hope that the next primary kit has that pattern again. Just because when we talk about like the biggest clubs in the world, they all have something iconic that sets their like kit apart, that like when you see it, you know where that kit belongs, even without looking at the badge.
And I think that could be where my affinity for stripes comes from. I love Barca.
Probably.
And they've got, right? You think about the burgundy and navy stripes, vertical stripes that they wear. I am also a big fan of Celtic. They have horizontal stripes, but again, my favorite kit of theirs was a special kit they only had for like 3 seasons. But it was vertical stripes, and it was their Kelly green and black. And I have one of those jerseys.
You also like Newcastle, who have stripes.
Black and white.
Yeah, black and white. They look like an NFL referee, but
they're just like black and white, just kind of like how the oil moguls see the world.
Exactly. Hey, anyone who's a fan of a big club in the Premier League has oil money all over them. So,
for those of you who don't know, so John and I have a chat with another friend who's surprisingly also named Tyler, where we talk about EPL stuff as well.
Yeah,
and I've been making a lot of jokes about Newcastle needing more oil money because they're struggling to make payroll right now.
Right. And then we make a lot of jokes to him about how the Spurs are spursing everything up. And then you guys make a lot of jokes to me about how Chelsea lose the championship sides. So
you mean Chelsea sucks? Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yes, that's exactly it. It's been a sad 2 years, but not the point of this podcast.
It's fun. It's fun to touch on other things here and there. So I think what if you got an alternate, right? And you did a like steel gray and like navy like checkered pattern.
So I do think checkered, I would be okay with that as a secondary kit. You look at like the Lunatics had a really cool checkered kit that they came out with in 2022.
The Lunatics?
That I really like.
You just said the Lunatics.
Yeah, I did. But the Luligans, yeah. Sorry, I've had, half of a beer, so I'm obviously hammered.
I'm on my 4th bourbon, and they've all been easily doubles. You need to get on my level, my man.
It's because I'm a lightweight.
I'm a functional alcoholic.
But I liked that. So I do think a checkered, I kind of want a checkered pattern next year, actually, with our secondary kit. Now that I'm talking about it, and you were talking about it for the Blues, I think I would want it to be, I don't know, I don't want the colors to clash too much, so I think it'd probably be like maybe the primary red and white. I think navy and white would be really cool.
I think navy and the lighter gray could be cool. So the primary gray on the jersey you're wearing, right, that lighter gray color with navy, I think would be really sharp as an away. Yeah. And that way, if the other team's primary color is red, we don't run into any issues there.
Right.
Because if their primary color is not red, we can always wear our reds.
Right. And that's the whole point too, right? The whole point of having these colors, especially because in soccer there's so many more color schemes, is that you will always be different enough. Although I was on Reddit, like I am every day, about a year ago when we got our asses kicked by Seattle in April last year. And someone made a comment as a colorblind person, this game really sucks to watch because they were wearing their bright greens and we were wearing our bright reds, and they just, just couldn't tell anything that was going on.
God, if Ben Reeky ever listens to this podcast, I will love it forever because he's red-green colorblind. So our fraternity used to do a dodgeball tournament, a charity dodgeball tournament. And each team was only allowed to go grab a specific color dodgeballs. And we always assigned Ben Reeky to be a judge on make sure people grab the right color dodgeballs.
Yep.
But we only bought red and green dodgeballs.
Yep. Yeah. I do think we might see the kits a little bit earlier this year than we did last year, too, by the way. I was just thinking about it and tangented all over. Last year they were released on February 18th, and I think the first game was maybe the week after that. But like, obviously some of the teams are going to be in Champions Cup and playing earlier than that. And I don't remember which, but I think there's some teams that even play in the first set of 2 weeks in February. So you kind of would expect that some of them would be released by then. So that way, like, fans could buy it and have them and wear them to the game. So I'm hoping we get them by the end of this month.
Yeah,
but I don't know for sure.
It's gonna be on my list of I need to buy this along with my new powder blue Cardinals jersey this year.
Mm-hmm.
Last question for you. I know.
Okay.
Again, this is a bonus episode, so I don't want to take too much time. So, top selling jersey sales in MLS end up getting a third kit.
So that's what we've always been told, but
those third kits tend to be kind of a little bit more like the City Connect style, right? A little bit more fun, a little bit more crazy. What would you want to see on it?
I would just be thankful to have one. I don't care. I'm going to buy it.
So I've had a lot of thought about this.
I believe that.
Because I have nothing else in my life to think about.
Exactly.
It's not like I have kids or a job or a wife or anything. So
no, you have none of those things.
Lindsay, if you're listening, please don't.
You think you have those things, but you don't.
So I would love to see a red jersey, and this is where my initial idea for City Skyline stuff came in. A red jersey, like City Red, with like a navy City Skyline with the arch. I think that would be super fun, super cool, but really kind of try to make the arch prominent. And I would love to somehow incorporate Gateway or something like Gateway to the West into it. I don't know how you do that. Yeah. I think you could have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. I could see also, the secondary kid having a Gateway theme this year too.
That City last year wore the grays, their alternate jerseys, the Spirit kit with the red shorts a lot.
Yeah.
And I much preferred it with the navy shorts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was much better with the navy shorts. Now, the one thing that we did not see last year that upset me was that we did not see the red kit with the navy shorts, which I think is a sharp look. I have recreated it at home. I think I've sent you a picture of it every time. And very, very fond of that combination.
I think if we wear our reds on the road, we need to try to incorporate the navy shorts. Now that might have an issue with if the other team's a darker color, the navy might be confusing. So maybe we'll have to do it at home, but I agree.
Yeah, but no one's looking at the pants. Everyone's looking at the kits. Like, I mean, you played sports. Like, you don't pay attention to what, like, the bottom half of their uniform is.
That you're looking at a lot of the bottom half of things.
I don't know. You feel like I looked at peripherals a lot.
I was like, playing soccer growing up, right? You spend a lot of time like looking where the ball is,
looking at where the ball is,
looking down. So your sight line is down.
Right. When you're in close quarters, I can see what you're saying. Like when you're trying to make a short pass to someone, like I can see where you're coming from with that perspective.
What I'm saying is it's even from, what I'm saying is 3 or 4 players back, right? If you're back a little bit and you're looking down at the ball and you see your team's wearing navy and the other team's wearing navy shorts, the navy is going to flush together on your sight line down towards the ball. It gets confusing.
Maybe.
Now, if they're wearing,
you just need better peripheral vision.
If they're wearing green or something like that, like if we go to Seattle and they wear their light green,
right?
Hell yeah, we're red and navy every time. If we're going somewhere and we're going to LAFC and they're wearing black, no, I would not wear the navy pants to go to that one.
No. Yeah, well, yeah, especially if they're wearing like black on black or something like that, where there's like no contrast.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that.
I don't know. I like the contrast. I like the option. So I've asked you this question before. We've talked about it. 1 to 10. Where do you rank City's kit from last year? Since that's the only kit we have to rank it off of.
Primary or secondary, or just both? The whole package?
All together, like the whole kit. So same thing we do with the Blues and Cardinals.
I will say they grew on me when they were first released. I was kind of like meh to both of them. And then like when we got closer, I got really excited and I was like, okay, I'm going to order one of each and I'm going to keep whichever one I like more and send back the other one I don't like. And that was a lie. I think I told myself to then have both of them. I will say that I expected going into it to keep the red one and send this one back. And then when I got it, I was like, oh no, I like that. And I think I've told you a lot that I absolutely hate pinstripes on like everything, except for like this kit and then those 2 City Connect jerseys that have them that we already talked about. I'd probably give us an 8. Now, if I had to do them individually, I'd probably do a 9 or a 10 for the primary and like a 7 or an 8 for the away. So 8 to 9 again, depending on how it averages.
I have it, but reversed. I've liked our away kits, the Spirit kits, better the whole way through.
Yeah.
But I would say an 8 for St. Louis City's overall kit. Now,
if the primary gets a bonus for me because of the arch pattern down the side. I will say that gets a huge bonus for me.
I love the arch pattern down the side, but I actually have both. Again, like you, I have both kits, because why not? And
right.
But for me, it's definitely the pinstripes, and I think the reason that I liked their pinstripes on this City kit is they're so they're so thin, they're so fine, they're almost unnoticeable. And if we did in this year's kit and it did something similar, and I mentioned this to you, and I know you hated the idea, but if they did a navy with like the lighter gray, very fine pinstripes like they did there, so it's almost unnoticeable, like it's hard, unless, it's not as obvious. I could be all in for something like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you definitely hit on something there. When you were watching the broadcast of this kit, when the game is happening, it just looks like we're wearing like a solid light gray kit. It's not until they zoom in on the players that you realize, that there are pinstripes. And honestly, when you're looking at it close, it kind of looks more white to me than gray, or maybe off-white. But from farther away, that it does become more gray to me.
Yeah, you're not just wrong, you're stupid on that one.
Yeah, well, whatever. Your opinion doesn't matter.
Every time you turn your head, it's even more obvious too, because there's white on the back of your head.
Right.
So like every time.
But yeah, as far as other kits that I liked more last year, we already talked about Miami, iconic, perfect for the city too. We talked about Portland.
I think because we talked about Portland and Washington in the baseball. The roses for me, man. The roses on kits are on fire for me.
Yeah. Yeah. There's that. I liked.
Was it Atlanta that had the red and white vertical stripes?
They have like red and gold vertical stripes.
Or red and black. Somebody had red and black vertical stripes.
Yeah,
I think it was Atlanta's this year's kit that they released
was red and black. Yeah. Yeah, I've got it pulled up in front of me. It's red and black. They normally have like a 5-stripe pattern, like year in, year out. And this year it was like 3 red, 2 black, which I liked. I liked Austin's 2022 kit. I did not like their 2023 kit because the lines, the stripes don't match up, and it hurt my eyes.
Oh, your poor eyes.
I know, my poor eyes. What else? There was another team that I really liked, and I'm struggling to think of who it was. Now, there was a kit that I really, really, really liked, but oh well, it's gone.
Can't be that important. It's not as
Can't be that important.
Do you know whose kit seemed really generic this year?
Probably the Colorado Rapids, because it looked like a West Ham and a, to quote you, Austin Villa knockoff.
Yeah, it did. And you quoted me perfectly. Yeah, their jerseys were suspect this last year, as their whole kit was, really.
Their whole team.
So I think
whole philosophy.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to copy the St. Louis City style after signing their big goalkeeper to trying to bring stuff in.
It's true.
I understand that, especially after Berkey stole us a point in Colorado when we had one of our worst games of the season.
Yeah. That was a rough one.
With that in mind, though, I hope that Colorado still sucks this year, because you know who they're owned by? Stan Kroenke. I already answered the question.
God, you did. You didn't give me a chance.
So, and with that, Stan Kroenke, we hate you. Good night, everyone.